Hi guys, welcome back to Lifestyle Love. So this video is how to budget and save for your wedding day. And this has been a huge subscriber request which has been going on for so long, and I'm excited that we are here today at Bo and Luca, which is a stunning bridal shop, you'd call it.
Yeah.
And not only am I going to be sharing with you my, financial advice and tips and tricks as to how to budget and save for your big day, I've actually brought in a guru, Danielle from White Plus White. Now, she is a bridal wedding planner, I should say, and she has been running her own business, White Plus White, for over 7 years. She's based in Sydney and in Brisbane, and she's very, very kindly sharing her sort of insider bride savvy saving tips and tricks as to how to get, how to invest in your wedding, what's worth investing for, where you can cut corners, how to get the most out of your wedding budget. So we are both so excited to be able to share this information with you today. So to start this video, I'm going to share with you my financial money saving wedding tips and tricks so that you get the most out of your budget. And then I'm going to hand the reins over to Danielle, who's going to share with you her insider tips and tricks. So my first recommendation is open a savings account dedicated to your wedding. So you need to nickname this account Wedding Money, and both you and your partner can view this account and access this account. The moment it's open, you start contributing, and you both contribute. Even if only one partner can only afford to contribute $1 per week and the other person's contributing thousands of dollars per week, it doesn't matter. You are now a team and you're both contributing to this account to pay for your special day. Also, by both being able to access and view the account, it means that you have a clear line of communication and you can both see exactly what you're paying for, how things are adding up, the cost of things, and it just minimizes any sort of tension or stress. Second tip is actually quite funny because we both had the same, point or recommendation, and that is to communicate or voice what you value on your big day. So what are things that brides are really important? Because you recommend just having 3 key things that are really important to you, and also letting your partner, verbalize, what is important. So what are the things that you often hear from brides and their partners as being the most, number one non-negotiable special aspect of their wedding?
Yeah, so we hear a lot that the food and wine is the number one priority for a lot of our couples. The photography, because your memories are captured forever.
Right, yeah.
And also for the bride, it's very fitting that we're here at Bo and Luca today. The bridal dress, of course, is a must-have.
And you recommend having this upfront conversation as quickly as possible in planning the wedding so that things don't kind of get out of hand, and you understand, so everybody's happy and to keep the peace.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the first questions we ask is that what's your 3, top wedding priorities? And we suggest you sort of establish this very early on the piece before, mum and dad and your work colleagues all get involved. And perhaps maybe popping those priorities on your fridge.
My third tip is to think outside the square and get creative. One of the most amazing weddings I went to was actually in a paddock, and it really captured the personality and the earthy nature of the couple getting married. It was breathtaking, and it cost them absolutely nothing, and it was so unique. So no one had actually ever been to a wedding in a paddock, and it was so much fun. Danielle was just telling me, some girls just want to get married in their family home.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something
garden,
special.
It's stunning.
Yeah, there's something special, I think, about going back home, where you grew up.
Where your memories were as a child.
Absolutely. And if you're lucky enough to have parents that maybe have a tennis court or a bit of land, we can pop a gorgeous marquee on there, and it is, as I said, it's just magical.
Yeah, and really personal and really intimate as well.
Of course, yeah.
My fourth tip is, when it comes to paying for particular things, and if the budget's getting tight and you're getting really stressed, is to be open and honest about it. And when people say to you, what would you like as a wedding gift? You could perhaps say, it would mean a lot to me, it would be really helpful if you can maybe contribute to the photographer for the day. Because that means, you're giving that person the gift of the images that are gonna last a lifetime. And instead of just asking for some upfront cash through, say, a wishing well or a honeymoon fund, you're giving them something, much more personal, and you can actually name and articulate what you're giving that person as a gift. And that can help keep your budget in check. Now, you've mentioned, the wishing well is probably the most popular thing to do because we already, most of us live with our partners before we get married. Is that is increasing popular? Like, what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so I think definitely people, couples are moving in together before they're married, they have too many toasters anyway, so the wishing well is kind of the most logical and practical way, to sort of, give a gift to your guests. I love the idea, as you said, of putting it towards something in the wedding. Also, we've seen, couples giving maybe bottles of wine and leaving a beautiful message. So when that couple opens that bottle of wine, they know who it's from, they can text them an image of them enjoying wine, of course. And I just think that that's really beautiful and significant, and the guest feels like they've really created a special moment for the couple.
So you don't necessarily need to shell out thousands of dollars for amazing locations. Think about simple places that mean a lot to you and your partner, and see how you can incorporate some of those ideas into your wedding planning. Our fifth and final tip is actually to invest in a bridal planner. Now, most people will sort of panic and think, oh, no, this is what's Canada saying? They're thinking, but okay, let's be honest. Planning a wedding takes a lot of time. It's incredibly stressful. You're also the politics of keeping everyone happy and everyone's opinions. It's hard, and also, I know when I planned my wedding, I had no idea if when I got a quote, whether was that quote reasonable, was I being ripped off? Is that the best place to go to? What's the reputation? It became overwhelming, and I actually did get a wedding planner. I ended up handing over the reins because it was just too much, and also it was a huge distraction from my life, and the stress was causing, I was taking it out on other people. So, and the great thing is, yes, it does cost a fee, but you actually, I believe, and you can tell me as well, because you know exactly where to save money, you know exactly what's worth investing in, you know exactly the right people to go to, and also you access trade discounts, which the cost of your service can be multiplied in the savings, which is fantastic. And what's more important is you're a fantastic sounding board, because when you're married, everyone's in your ear, and it's a little bit overwhelming. And it's nice to have that person holding your hand that's not only there during the lead up to the wedding, but they're on the night.
We're there to the end.
So if you're getting married, it's definitely worth checking out a wedding planner, and of course I recommend heading over to the White Plus White website and also having a squiz at your beautiful Instagram account, because there's lots of great ideas, and you can see the amazing work that Danielle and her team have done. And as I said, they're based in Sydney and Brisbane. Right now, I've already heard Danielle's tips, and I absolutely love them, and they're brilliant. So I want you to share with the viewers what your insider bride savvy saving tips are.
Okay, well, I think number one, and I think this is the most important tip I can give you, is less is more when it comes to your guest list. So keep it intimate. You not only save money, because your food and beverage is going to be one of your biggest costs, but you get to enjoy the night in a more intimate setting. And you can spoil your guests with beautiful food and wine.
And you can get around to see everyone on the night.
Exactly. My second tip is styling. So
everyone wants a picturesque wedding.
They do. And there's some little tips that we have learned along the way that can really create that wow factor for your wedding. So hanging installations are, they're very trending at the moment. But focusing on that, that one installation and loving it up with flowers, foliage, and lighting makes an amazing impact to your look and feel.
And you mentioned, if you've got a budget when it comes to the floral arrangements, focusing more on the greenery, the foliage, rather than a mass of excessive colour can actually look incredibly breathtaking and beautiful. And that can also be a form of, as you said, keeping that budget for the flowers down.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, love up your installation, your centerpieces, your bouquets with greenery. It's cost effective, it looks amazing. What's not to like about beautiful greenery?
I want to keep on hearing these tips.
More.
We've got keen the brides to be.
Okay, I think we spoke about wedding favours. So do you have them, do you not have them? I'm sort of on the fence with this. I think if you're going to do it, you do it well, or you don't do it at all.
Okay.
And there's things that you could do for your guests to make them feel special.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. to make them feel special and to thank them for coming. For example, you know, at the end of the night, often flowers are left on the table. So you're spending thousands of dollars on these gorgeous flowers. Why not give them to your guests? We have things called wrapping stations where we, which is so much fun. We sit down and, you know, at the end of the night wrap up the flowers and give them out to each sort of couple or family member.
Which is so nice because they get to take a part of the night back into their own home, and it sits there, you know, for the week or so, and you know, reminds them of such a special day or a special night. It's such a thoughtful, kind thing to do, to give back to your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And another idea is perhaps, you know, gifting those flowers to like your local retirement village or nursing home. Yeah, I think that's so lovely because they absolutely love them and they're not.
And they really appreciate them.
Absolutely, yeah. So I love that idea as well. Another tip I'd say is to hire your styling items. So when I mean styling items, I mean candles and all the gorgeous things you're going to put on your tables, because you'll find by the time, you know, so you buy off Etsy
In bulk.
Someone on the day has to transport them to the venue.
And then put them on all the tables.
That's right. And then someone has to return at the end of the night to take them home. You have to clean them, you have to store them. And chances are they're going to sit in your garage for the next 5 years.
Dust. The alternative is to rent them, because then someone will get them to you, someone can distribute them and style them for you, and they'll come and take them away, and you never need to deal with them again.
That's right.
And now your final tip, which I think is probably the most important tip and the best bit of advice I've heard, and that is have a
buffer in your budget. So there is some hidden costs, or some costs that might pop up that when you least expect it. And one of the big ones we see is delivery fees for your furniture. So for example, if you can't get into your venue until the day of, which is most common, delivery hire fees can almost double that from like a Friday to a Saturday. And that can really, you know, really affect the bottom line.
Especially if you've got to get the stuff out because the venue has a particular event booked the next day. I mean, the stress and pressure of that as well is a lot. So how much would you recommend as a buffer? Are we talking 10% or 20% or a particular financial number? What's your, you know, advisable guide when it comes to having a buffer for your wedding budget?
Well, I think a buffer, I mean, that would take care of sort of extra delivery costs, bits and pieces, like you don't think about, like, you know, you've got these gorgeous photos, well, you need tea lights and candles to put in them, and that all adds up. So I would say about, you know, about 5% of your budget could be your buffer for your incidentals.
And that's sort of the advantage of having a planner, is you're less likely to need that buffer because you are ahead of the game. You know how to keep it in check and how to, you know, what things to watch out for, and you know, there's sort of hidden traps, so that you know you don't actually have to rely on that buffer. And if there's money left over, towards the wedding or the honeymoon, maybe.
Also, having someone on the day, I think, managing this. So most couples, they're so excited for the day comes, and oh my God, who is actually going to clean up the room? Who's going to pick up these items? So having someone that manages that, and you just don't have to worry about it.
And also someone to remind you, like if you said you want something to happen during the night, like you talk about a girl who wants some sparklers, you know, and you're so wrapped up in the night and having so much fun, it's so easy to forget about some of those activities or things that you want to happen on the day. To have that person who's there, switched on, got, you know, the show running to perfection, to go, hang on, we've got to do the sparks, like that's great that you remind like the client of yours about the sparklers, and she could, you know, didn't get forgotten about it. It actually happened, like so make things happen.
Yeah, of course, and we're, you know, we're the queen of runches, so
I love runching.
I love good clipboard. So we make sure that the night runs smoothly, behind the scenes everything's going well, and you don't have to worry about a thing. You're not hassled through the whole night, you know, by the manager saying, oh, do you want to eat now, and what time are we doing this? You know, it's all taken care of by us.
Well, that is it for this video. I have one quick question for you, and I haven't warned you about this, but what to you makes a special, beautiful wedding?
I think, you know, it's all about the couple. Every single couple that comes to us, they're unique, so their wedding should be unique as well. And I think, you know, finding what makes them a couple and injecting it into the wedding is the most, I think, the most important thing in the wedding planning process.
That's it for this video. video, I want to thank Danielle very much for coming in and sharing this very sort of confidential intellectual property with everyone. And also to thank Bo and Luca for letting us film in this incredible location. These dresses are just breathtakingly beautiful. So thank you very much for coming in. As I said, I will mention Danielle's beautiful website, White Plus White, and the Instagram account, which was fantastic. And I will see you next week on either Lifestyle Love or Money Monday. Ciao!